We
I
said it at the
know.
same time without even being rehearsed. What do you say, audience? We're so much in sync from first heartbeat here.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah,
Don, what do we got today, Don?
we got a jam-packed, value-added broadcast coming your way. This is going to be the fastest 20 minutes on LinkedIn, and it always goes to 30 or 40. But today
Let's
we're
see if we can
talking.
do 20. Let's see if we can do 20 today. And I want to start us off with this quote because this is your quote from last time. I love that one.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. We're good buddies like that. That's the key, and that's what we're talking about today is networking. And me and Mike are a great example of how networking works on LinkedIn because we built our relationship organically without a plan, but with the ability to continually attract to each other and what we're doing. And now it's how we're doing it. And now we're taking it one more step with our collaboration group that we just founded 2 weeks ago, which is an extension of what we're doing here. And, it's really, you got 810 million people on LinkedIn, right? Give or take a couple million. How many do you need? How many do you have? What are you willing to do to get them? Right? You got a baseball team, you got to fill out your positions. Just think it's like the draft, right? You got number one selections in every area. Who are you choosing? Right? Make it easy. Don't worry about 810 million coming through your door. Make 10 people who you want meet you at the door, right? And how do you do that? Take inventory, right? You keep buying product and you keep buying product, you don't sell nothing. It's stockpiling, right? Sift through what you got, sort it, save you a lot of time up front, and open up for more if you need it. But, anyways, today is networking and being able to really be proactive. We always promote that. Be the first, don't wait for something to happen, make something happen, and create what we discussed last time is really something that involves packaging and presentation. How do you show up? Are you bringing the best you to the table? Right? If someone introduced you to somebody you just love to meet, knowing that if it all worked out, it could be a really sweet ride for a while at least, right? How would you show up? Like, tell me, Mike, you're the expert salesperson on the staff here.
No, let's do a commercial. LinkTank. We're live Tuesdays and Fridays every day at every Tuesday and Friday at 2 p.m. with one promise, and that is you can walk away with something you can use while we're on right now. Use something right now, or as soon as you get off, you'll utilize something that we shared. It's what's working, what's not. It's what we're doing, proven to work. So thanks for that commercial, Don. And
You bet.
I want to make sure that everyone knows that we can add value. And I think it's really important to uncover like how our relationship started because now we're partners. But it started almost a year ago, and somehow we got into each other's network, and then we basically, actually, you know what? This is do I dare do this? This is risky, Don.
Okay, well, I'm a gambler. Let's roll the dice.
This is risky. I don't know. I never did this before, but we're gonna go Don. Can you see the screen? We're gonna make it a little bigger. I'm gonna go to messaging. Let's figure out, Don. I'm gonna open up messaging. And I am gonna make it bigger. Whoa, it went over there. How do I get it back over here? I guess that's kind of doesn't do that. So this is maybe as big as we're gonna get it. Let's go way. Let's. This is like the Wayback Machine. You know what
Mm-hmm.
the Wayback Machine is?
No, no, I'm dying to hear though.
The Wayback Machine is you can go on the internet and type in Wayback Machine, and then what it does is it takes snapshots of almost every website in the world going way back, and you can see what a website looked like from 5 years ago. Like it's taking a
Oh
snapshot.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Now I know. I know.
Yeah. So this is a Wayback Machine. Let's because I'm going back to try to figure out. Um, figure out how it started. Like if we're
Well,
gonna
here
talk,
I'll tell you. I'll give you my recollection.
yeah,
Is it started typically the typical way, which is you had your program, I was doing my program, and you thought your program could help me. And that was our first conversation, and that took place about a year and a half ago. Then
wow,
about a year ago, you reached back to me, and not to promote your program, but to look at maybe sharing some insights because we're in the same kind of channel. And that created a conversation. And what it taught me and what it confirmed for me is there's people who will do business with you, right? But won't be a business client of yours, right? So you could either have a team player, collaborator, partner, or you could have a client, right? And the
yeah,
question is, how many clients turn into partners and how many partners turn into clients? And whatever that number is, it's valuable to realize the strength in numbers. I couldn't do this show without Mike. It wouldn't be the same show, and I wouldn't be the same me, right? So the key is, and I'll tell you very clearly, it's
Don, your
when.
dates. Look, your dates are getting right. I'm going. I'm going back. Uh,
So it's February 20. So it's about 2 years, right?
uh,
This
yeah.
is
Look
when
at
we
this.
connect.
Yeah,
Welcome you.
you. Look at this.
I
You,
reached
Don.
out.
You hit me.
That's what I'm saying. As soon as you welcome, right? I build business development content marketplaces. Here's what I was doing with Second Opinion was another concept. Here's my calendar, and you booked, right? So I was the first one.
You hit me, Don.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I saw the value of you. You're a rarity that comes up in the daily catch,
February
right?
26th of 2020. So how long ago is that?
2.5 years
Oh
is
my
when
God.
we
See,
first got
this
in.
is this I love. Okay. So I
Yeah,
saw
no,
Don. I
true.
saw Don. Don was crushing it. He was doing like every 5,000 new connections he would post it. I was like, that's great. I love this guy. And then I must have did a connection request. He accepted. And then he said, happy to welcome you as a connection because you do that. You new connections, you welcome them and you like we're talking about networking today. It's like, if you invite someone to a local meetup, which is a good idea if you're going to be in business, a local meetup, and they walk through the front door, well, then what the hell? You should go over and say, welcome. Here's a few other people that have been coming to a few of these. Welcome.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you did. And you do it because you actually, you include them in the posts and you get them visibility. You're giving right back from the start. So today we're talking about networking, of course, on the channel of LinkedIn, but we're really talking about networking in general. So we're going back. This is something was a live experiment to how Don and I first met, February 26th of 2020. And then
Mm-hmm.
Don gave me, his calendar link and I booked. So that's
Mm-hmm.
cool. I was like, oh, great. Don, I think there's something that we can do to help each other. And
Mm-hmm.
didn't see any email. Here's an update of building a marketplace. Cell phone. Look, Don's
And
nice. Gives me a cell phone. So
yeah,
that's February of 2020. And then we jump to
man.
May, February, March, April, May. 3 months later.
Well, and then you reached out to me and said you shared my post,
Yeah, just gave
right?
you a little love on my wall and shared your post. Great job.
Yeah, so it just shows you is exchanging value, right? Gets you value,
Yeah,
right? From you reaching out to Mike and having the Zoom, it took about 3 months for it to settle. And then Mike created the love and shared it with me, right?
yeah,
And then we had a Zoom somehow, right?
yeah. I think it was maybe our second Zoom because we had one in the beginning, and then here it is. We talk about collaboration. So here's one thing I see everyone missing when we're talking about this networking. They're missing. Everyone wants to. reach out to someone where they can conquer them for business. Like that person either can be a client or can't, can be a client and can't, can be a client or can't. And this is what we talk about with our Done For You program all the time. It should be can be a client and can't. And you should also be looking for people that are servicing the same customer as you, and that you have an opportunity to work together to help each other service the same customer and maybe jointly build something together. So that's huge, because if this is what we did, we said collaborate, because you were helping people with LinkedIn and I was helping with people with LinkedIn. We're helping the same group. Are we competitors? So even if we're competitors on Zoom and we spend a few minutes and like, we're doing the same thing. Wish you luck. I wish you luck too. I'm sure our paths will cross again. I can't say nice enough things about you, but we're competing. And so what? There's 800 million people. So I'm glad we got to meet. You're a good guy. Perfect. That's your
Yeah,
worst.
but here's the beauty of it, and I think this is the essence that a lot of people don't get because they can't get because they're not from that day and age. Is me and Mike come from a point where you have to earn sales, right? You have to invest in sales. You have to do special things to get people's attention and keep their trust. And you can see the next thing is then I made Mike the number one connection, because then I was announcing every day to build my numbers who would be the number one connection on LinkedIn, and I shared it, right? So from that to that, and now we're moving still a little bit to August. We got a follow-up call, right? And we keep going.
Yeah.
And then basically, and you see, there's a lot of conversation, right? No one wants to be the one who didn't have the last word, right? Because it's another way of saying something to somebody. And then we got the agreement going. So it was August 21st when I joined the group, right?
Yep.
So
27th. Yeah.
that's about a year. Then in September, right? Okay, so I had the onboarding. So
Yep.
this is a way of again getting to know. Just registered, blah blah blah. Enjoyed our call again. So we had another call in September,
Yep.
and then in October, okay, here's again the LinkedIn thing, and we've been now talking about every month about something, and now I'm involved with you, which is now I'm going to the meetings, now I'm meeting the people, now I'm learning the program,
Yep.
which is now a better place where we can do things together, right? If we try to do something together from the get go, it'd be too much presumption. Here's another thing when you're talking about competing, we're changing every day based on our knowledge and the people we get to meet. LinkedIn's changing every day based on their algorithm trying to be more relevant every day. So it doesn't make more sense. And the other thing is me and Mike are focused and aligned in certain things, but we complement each other in other ways that we can bring to people, right, who want to do better on LinkedIn. Mike's an educator. I'm a motivator, kind of getting the person in the game along with the how to, right? Because what me and Mike found, there's two things that are essential: being active, right? Not falling asleep in that string that me and Mike had right there. Either one of us could have said, "Hey, I'm busy for 6 months. Talk to you later," right? And would have put water on the fire. The other thing is commitment. I never know what something's going to do until I do it. So I say, why not do it for 30 days straight? Make a commitment. And maybe 30 days is the number, maybe 15. But I can guarantee you do it once now and once in a month, you might as well not even bother. You're like spitting into the ocean. Has no impact, right? So
Yep.
networking is your way of picking people's brains, right? Getting support when you're down and they're up, they can keep you straight. And the other thing, all you have to determine is what is the currency of value you're going to return to them, right? Because you can't
So
ask.
that, yeah. So this one big thing I want to point out what you just said, which is an important distinction, is you know you want to be able to pick someone's brain, but there's so many people that are just calling up people or hey, can I pick your brain for a few minutes? That's not reciprocity. What is that word? We can't. Neither of us can say it.
I don't know.
That's not reciprocal. Because if I'm saying, hey, if you're new, Don, I say, hey, Don, I just want to pick your brain. So basically, it's kind of like, okay, I'm going to spend time with you, and you're going to suck from me. Well, what's in it for you? If you're saying, hey, I'd love to jump on. You're doing some interesting things, and see if I can learn from you. And I got some interesting things going on as well that I would love to share. That's networking. Distinction. Important one.
Well, and it's smart because everybody's got an experience of being invited to a potluck, right? And everybody sees what everybody brings. And everybody knows what everybody spent and what everybody did to get what they bring. And so if you said, hey, I'm going to bring something that looks bigger, better, and everything costs $5 more than anybody else, you show up, right? And I think that's the key is when you ask for something, you need to know you got something twice as good already waiting to be given, right? Because that's what wins the day. You don't want to just be equal. You want to overserve. You want to show that you're not into majoring in the minors, right? You're a player. And that's the real key. And when people keep saying, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, they're already running the race. They want you to join them at full speed. And Mike's exactly right. When someone says, I want to pick your brain, I say, you're going to waste my time. That's the first thing I say. And I value time because that's the currency you got to measure against. What are you doing with it? And the key is how many people you're touching in the shortest amount of time in the most easiest way to digest and take action on. See, LinkedIn gives you that. People think that they give you the stage, they give you the microphone, they give you the audience. You just got to pick what do you want to talk about to who and when, right? And that's what me and Mike are doing is we're getting people in the game. LinkedIn Live is a great invite. I'm using that now to network, right? To people, because here's the give and take. Hey, Mike, I want to get to know you. What do you got for me, Don? Right? And I say, hey, I'm looking for guests on this popular LinkedIn Live. I think you'd be perfect. Let's have a call. Boom. What are you going to say? No? How many people can offer that? Why not offer the biggest, the best, right? From Gary Vee. He gives it all away, knowing that even when it's too good to be true, some of these people aren't going to take action. And that's fine. Because if you give them the most up front and they turn it down, you wouldn't have got any better with less. And then you sort faster. So anyways.
That's true. So Don, let's do this. It's 2:21. So we're going to try to do 20 minutes. So give 3 steps that you can say, okay, from a networking standpoint, try doing this between now and Tuesday when we're on again. And then I'll give 3 steps. And then we'll share one little smidgen about LinkTank. The link's there. We just, it seems like every other day now we're having a new person join, which is great. We just had our second meeting with great people from all over the world, which is really exciting. But let's give three points for networking, and then I'll give 3 so people can walk away with something to try and do. And then that's it. It's Friday, Shabbat. So,
well, I think that's a great idea. What my 3 would be, and it's all about proactive outbound, right? Is pick out the number, whatever you're comfortable and know you can do. Don't pick out 20 and don't do anything, right? So pick out 3 or 4, whatever it is. You can always add, you can always subtract, but something you're comfortable. Pick out 3 people you've had experience with. Doesn't have to be a connection. Could have been a comment, a poll, anything where there is a connection and some communication. Look at those 3 or 4 and say, hey, if they came into my life and I could find value enough for them to want to do that, who would they be? Okay, so now you got your list, right? Now look at what they're doing. Okay, you got the name, look at the activity. Okay, see what you can do to add value to that activity, right? If someone never posts, forget about them. If someone's posting about stuff that's totally against your character or your integrity, skip them. There's plenty of fish in the sea. So once you got that, you say, hey, I love comment because I love their content. I'm learning, so it's not like it's work. And the third element is really finding something of value up front that you're going to give. Don't wait to buy the present after it's too late, right? What is your reason for being that they're going to want to at least be curious enough to hear it? So that's the project. Find the three, find how you can support the three individuals, and then come up with your reason for wanting to get together with them. And I'll tell you the first part already. Find something they're proud of. Find something they really get involved in, their causes, whatever it is, and relate a personal experience to that, right? If you went to University of Michigan, when they went to talk about that, you'll get a relationship. And the second part is here's what I want to do for you, or here's my intention. And me and Mike will agree on one thing for sure, and we agree on a lot. Anybody comes to us, whoever they are, wherever they're from, if they're sincere and they're honest about their intention and say, hey, I just need 20 minutes with you. I got something important I want to learn. We're always there for them. So anytime you ask for help the right way, you're going to get more. And if you have something in return, you're going to get even more. And that speaks to conversion rate. So if you started with 3 and you ended up with 1 conversation after 2 weeks of the 3 people you picked out, you're on your way, because pick out another 3 the next 2 weeks and you'll get 1 more. It just works like that. Mike, what's your 3?
Well, I 1 second here. I'm just looking for. I want to show. I'm going to share my screen again because my 3 is going to be all about really just being relatable. So here's Jay. Let me open up Jay. So I can't remember how I came about Jay. I mean, apparently we were connected, but I don't know how. And we never messaged. And so he just popped up. I think it was, maybe it was on, I have no idea actually. So anyway, I was like, oh, the guy looks pretty cool. What is this elephants thing? And CEO of Elephants. And he's into philanthropy. I said, that's cool. But then I took a quick look over here. And I was like, this guy, John McEnroe, Andre Agassi, Gabrielle Sabatini, Yannick Noah, Jim Courier, Jennifer Capriati, Andy Reddick. This is my generation of tennis. I love tennis. He was the official racket stringer for the U.S. Open and the Davis Cup, and he strung these rackets for these people. So I was like, holy shit, that is so cool. And collaborating with Mickey Rourke on the spot. Mickey, great. I mean, this is like, a great guy. So I don't have a relationship with him. I don't know how we're first connection. So then this is what we're talking about, is networking, right? So I think it's good just to show like what I did. And I said, I just basically said, I didn't know this. So cool. John McEnroe, Andrew Agassi, Jim Courier, and Annie Roddick. Right? I just acknowledged something of his that was so cool, which is kind of one of the things you spoke about. And I said, John was my favorite because I love McEnroe. And then I said, here's the relatability. I once snuck into the locker room in Forest Hills during the tournament and saw Roscoe Turner. I couldn't even remember the guy's name. And I didn't even want to take the time to find it because people are so, they judge themselves so hard. Like, what would I have done? Oh, Roscoe Turner. I knew it wasn't, because that's like a combination between Tina Turner, right? So, but I just put it anyway because, he was the guy that had the big serve. Back in the day, this is the first guy that I think served over 100 miles an hour. His name was, I thought it was Roscoe Turner, but I snuck into the locker room of the U.S. Open when it was at Forest Hills, and the guy was changing. He was in his underwear in the locker room. If you can imagine, this is way before, the September 11th and the towers down and tight security. Like, you could sneak around. It was fun. So then he says, Ha ha, nice. It's Roscoe Tanner. Right. So I haven't replied back yet. But what this is like, he maybe he's getting people hitting him with outbound with those automated messages. Hey, I see you live in New York City, and so does my sister's husband's wife, daughter. Maybe we can, come walk the dog together, or some kind of automated bullshit. This is definitely going to be like the start of a relationship if I want to pursue it and then volley back. And this is what it's about. So my takeaway from the networking and the action to take, instead of three, take one. And it can be a first connection. It doesn't need to be a second and third, because his first connections you never communicated with. And just find something interesting and relatable, and just put yourself out there. And you don't have to spell words correctly. Maybe if you're an English teacher and you're trying to help people with copywriting, you might want to pay attention to but everybody else, who cares? Look, I gave him an opportunity to correct me. So now I'll probably go back and say, oh yeah, Roscoe Tanner. And then I'll go look at some stats. And I was like, yeah, he was the first guy ever to, break 100. And now the guy that just lost in the Wimbledon, the Australian guy that's the head case, he was like every first serve's like 125 miles an hour. Every first serve, 25 miles an hour more, right? So anyway, this is wide open. I don't even know what to do with this guy, because I don't even really know actually what he does, but it doesn't matter. He's like, this guy's a good guy to have in the network.
Yeah,
So
but it also confirms your process works. The other thing me and Mike know is how to accelerate. I mean, there were times in my sales career, I had a week to do something with one person, right? I didn't have a lot of time. So I had to keep bringing value to the table, new reasons to want to keep the fire going. And what Mike did is he started the fire here, right? So he got a little flame. The key is, how do you build on it, right? And really that's the key. So just the points Mike's making, the same points I'm making. Target, apply best practices, right? And bring enormous value up front, right? If you're going to bring the buffet, don't leave nothing out, right? Because that's going to be the first thing people see, and that's what they're going to know. So, these things are fundamental. Some of it's been around since man's been around. Other things change by the second, right? You got to have your foot in both places to be balanced, right? If you're too tech and not enough touch, or too touch and not enough tech. And here's the other thing me and Mike talk about, the blend. It's not like you just throw a bunch of stuff in a pot and come back in 20 minutes and it makes itself, right? You got to know when, how, and adjust, because it's not a unilateral thing. Once they make a move, it's like chess. Now you got to identify, where's the board? What do I want to do next? Is this fitting into my game plan? Because it's all about you until it's about us, right? So you're there for a purpose. If you can combine and find value, and you have to, because here's the thing, winners love company. You ever see people make a lot of money and have a party for one? No, it's like, hey, everybody should enjoy. And I think if you bring that to the party, right, that you're seeking people to provide more value because you're worth it, and that will get their attention, right? It's like sampling. Go to Costco, you can eat dinner there. Anyways,
yeah. Anyway, so and what, just to kind of I'll do my sign off. Well, everything that you said is true, and you can figure it out for yourself by going back and forth. You'll never do any harm, and also you can join LinkTank, where we're there now building a group. I think we just about got 10 people in there. I think it's every other day we got someone joining now from around the world, and we're going every week. We're spending an hour with the group going over this, and we're analyzing this deeper, not from mine or Don's. We don't need to analyze ours in front of the group. I mean, obviously we're doing this here on LinkTank, the show, because there's no one else to analyze. But during our meetings where people are pulling up their LinkedIn, like, this conversation went cold. What do you see? And it's just not what Don and I see, because we don't have all the answers. But we have 8 other people that are like super experienced, great, individuals, and someone will say, "Oh, you know what? That was a little standoffish." Oh, I got that. Cool. Now that person is going to make an adjustment for the next 3 or 4, and then next week they're going to be like, "Oh my God, that one little adjustment I made, I got these 3 people. Now I'm in a conversation." So this is really the value, and it's $47 a month while we do this launch. And whoever gets in stays at $47 a month, even though it's going to end up significantly higher. So that's good news. And at the end of the day, pay. And if you think we suck or the group sucks, then ask for a refund. You get 30 days to get a refund, and you're out. I'll send
Yeah.
you back your money. So that's it for me, Don. It's Friday, and I love Fridays because it's Shabbat and checkout. I get off all internet and all electronics for 25 hours. It's a breath of fresh air, connecting with the family, and being off this because you and I love business and we're growing businesses. So I always get sucked back in. Because we just passionate and love it. So Shabbat Shalom. Don, sign us off, and then we'll see everyone on Tuesday.
Again, it's a pleasure to share the broadcast with you, Mike. I learn every time, and I hope everybody else can be teachable enough to take what we have. And even if you don't do anything with us, take what we've shared with you, use it, get benefit. And that's really the key. And I think, what Mike's saying is so true is, to give you an example and then we'll sign off. If you ever been in a casino, right, and they got these big buffets and they got people waiting 3 hours to get a buffet, right? And then they got players who got a line pass, right? And you take your line pass to the front of the line where it says line passes or VIP, and everybody's been sitting there for 3 hours with dying of hunger now, right? Watches you go right through the line, right to the front, and now you're eating in like a minute. Well, the casinos don't want players sitting in line. They want them playing. Second thing is, they're comping you anyways. So if you want a line pass on LinkedIn, right? If you don't want to wait for the months and weeks of watching other people get ahead of you and wondering how, why, and what am I sitting here for? Life is valuable. Time is all you got, right? If we can get you to the front of the line and maybe even take your hand and show you around the buffet and tell you the best things, and it would be a benefit because here's the deal. There's so much win involved that me and Mike can win, you can win, LinkedIn can win, and there's even more win left over, right? So anyways, that's something you could think about. Want to wait, want to win, 2 choices. So anyways, goodbye for now. See you Tuesday. Check out our program. We make it a no risk, no lose. I trust yourself to trust yourself, and that's the program. So anyways, Mike,
take us out of here. Have a great weekend, everybody.